Black Lives Matter has to be really happy because an entire police force gone. It almost sounds like a movie. Every single full-time officer, including the police chief of Kenly, North Carolina, has resigned in protest of a new town manager. Chief Josh Gibson said Justine Jones is creating a hostile work environment and the department can no longer perform its duties and its services to the community. Chief Gibson joins me now exclusively, along with his attorney, Haidt Philbeck. Chief, how has the town manager created a hostile work environment for law enforcement?
Well, she came in, first of all, to start giving us tasks and all these projects all the time. And unfortunately, we're a very low-man department. We only have 5 officers, and I was working double shifts at the time to try to keep up officer safety and be there with the other officers in case something happened. We're a town of about 2,000 people. And so she kept on doing things like that. Then at one point, she wrote me up. And she wrote me up for being late for work. And I was like, no, ma'am, I haven't been late to work at any time. She said, yes, you have. You've either been in the hallway, in the foyer. You have not been sitting at your desk at 8 o'clock in the morning. I was like, yes, ma'am. Then she wrote me up for going to businesses and talking with businesses. She wrote me up for talking with council members that I've known for 20 years.
So she was targeting you, Josh. Josh, so you think,
yes,
I'm actually looking at the, her reprimands of you, her written warnings, and I'm thinking to myself, she didn't like you. She was targeting you. These are pretextual, and Phil, you can chime in, but this all seems like, sorry, but total BS. I mean, this just is ridiculous.
Yes,
Haidt, sorry. Yeah, Haidt,
yeah,
I mean, this is just classic targeting.
It's classic example of a municipal head that seeks to, and likely has no experience at all in law enforcement or training, seeks to micromanage a police agency over Chief Gibson here, who has 21 years experience, as well as 17 years of those as a police chief. She wants to implement all these rules and essentially control everything he does, from sitting at his desk to who he speaks with. In fact, he can't even speak with her if he has a quick question or something unless he sets an appointment ahead of time. That's untenable, and it puts the public at risk.
Well, how did she get hired? Because I see that she sued a previous employer for racial discrimination, right? A black woman obviously sued her previous employer, Richland County, South Carolina, for gender and racial discrimination after she was terminated in March of 2015, alleging hostile treatment by Richland County leaders and her supervisor, retaliating for reporting bad behavior. That lawsuit was later voluntarily dismissed, although court records don't reveal why. So how did you go from South Carolina suing for racial discrimination, ending up in your small town in North Carolina, Josh? Who hired her?
I wish I could. The town council does that. They use a company called Triangle J that supposedly vets these people, and they give like a nomination for them to select these candidates. And so it was all with the town council. We were not included in any selection process or vetting of anything. It was all with the town council and Triangle J.
And Haidt, I know that Josh was also accused of socializing in town?
Yes.
What? So you're never supposed to social? I don't even understand this.
Yeah, keep in mind, Chief is from this area. It's 2,000 people. Everyone knows everyone. He's known people for many, many years. And part of important duty of being a police chief is community outreach and be able to connect with community. His socializing, quote unquote, is reaching out to the community and keeping the relations in good stead and hearing from them and getting feedback from them so he can be the best police chief that he has been.
Well, Chief, that's what Black Lives Matter and all these social justice activists said that they wanted. The police to get in with the community, as Haidt just said, and work with the community, find out what's on their minds. But now I guess we have to get new marching orders. That's not what you're supposed to do.
Yeah, and that's how
This
I
woman's
felt
a
about
nightmare.
it also.
She's a nightmare. I'm sorry. They got to get rid of her.